Well, we switch gears a little bit. We move to the soccer field, back to Nickerson Field, and we welcome in the senior midfielder from the men's soccer team, Ben Havey. Ben, thanks so much for joining us. How you doing?
Hey, Ben.
How you doing?
Well, Ben, let's talk about the way this team has started for you. Obviously, 3-3-1 right now on the year, coming off 3 straight losses, the last one being a 2-0 loss to Brown. One of those games where you knew coming in that Brown is a defensive-minded team. What kind of things did you try to do to adjust to that? And unfortunately, you obviously couldn't find the net right now.
No, yeah, we were aware that they were going to be defensive.
Yeah.
We probably didn't do a good enough job of breaking them down, and we made a couple of silly mistakes at the back, lacked of concentration. But we knew what we were going to be up against. We should have done better, really.
What was that defense like? Just trying to play against it? Would it be one of the toughest ones you've seen so far this season?
Well, their record would definitely say that. They've only conceded 1 all season, so we knew they weren't going to give us much. They were really well organised. They had 2 banks of 4 in front of their goalkeeper, and they were pretty rigid in the way they played. They knew their game plan and they stuck to it pretty well. So yeah, they were definitely one of the better defenses we played.
You know, it's kind of funny. You play a team like Brown after playing 2 ranked opponents, and you still say it's one of the strongest defenses you've seen after playing number 15 St. John's and number 5 Boston College. It says a lot about their program as well as trying to just get over that hump right there as a tough defensive team.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was a lot to do with the way they were organised. They were a really well organised team. They knew their roles. They might not have been individually as strong as the other 2 sides we played, like player for player, but the way they were set up and the way they understand their roles made them a really tough unit to break down.
I want to talk about that Boston College game, playing number 5 BC, a 4-0 game where all 4 goals were scored in just a 10-minute span. I mean, is your head still spinning from those 10 minutes? What exactly happened in there?
Yeah, it was a strange one, because up until that point it had been a pretty even contest. We'd had some shots, they'd had some shots. It was they're a good side, but to be blown out in 10 minutes is obviously really disappointing.
Right. And that's what I'm curious about is obviously, you know, from that game, what do you guys take out of that game and move forward? Obviously still playing Brown the following weekend, but what did you take from that and just say that was just a weird 10 minutes in a game that we can't have happen again?
Outside of the Brown game, even the 2 losses previous to that, there was a lot of positives we could take out of it. Even the BC game, although we got blown out in 10 minutes, for the other 80 we matched them.
Right.
And specifically for the first half an hour, it was a good contest. They were clearly a really good side and they were going to pose us problems, but we matched them man for man. We competed with them, so they're all positives, but the Brown game was a big disappointment.
You mentioned that Brown defensive alignment gave you some trouble in terms of breaking down. You did have 17 shots.
Yep.
How many were of the quality variety based on the type of defense that they put on the field against you?
Not enough. It's probably the straightforward answer.
I had a feeling that might be the exactly. Neil would have given us the same answer, I'm sure.
It was a case of us having a lot of the ball, which we knew we were going to have before, but we didn't create the quality openings that we would have hoped. Not particularly the actual shots on goal, but we didn't create enough clear-cut opportunities to really test their goalkeeper.
Ben, I want to talk about you a little bit. Obviously, if you guys are listening, you may not hear that normal Boston accent. That's from Ben being from Preston, England.
Yes.
Coming
I picked
over
up
here.
on that,
You did? Oh,
yeah,
good.
I did.
Okay.
Yep.
But first of all, before we get to that, before your background, I also want to talk about last year, sustaining the leg injury last year after starting the first 11 of the 12 games. What were you trying to do and help yourself get back for this season?
Yeah, last year was interesting. Obviously, moving a little bit further afield than I've been before, and having at the start of the season having little niggly injuries, and like you say, having a foot injury at the end of the season that stopped me playing for the rest of the season. It was tough. It was tough to adapt, and I stayed in Boston over the summer and just tried to get myself in the best shape I could over the summer, and hopefully not have the same problems this time around. Knock on wood.
Yeah. Stay healthy, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, coming over, you graduated from Loughborough University in just 3 years. What was the transition from England here to the U.S. and here in Boston? What did you know Sean Taylor? Yeah, soccer-wise as well. But did you know Sean Taylor before?
No. I didn't know Sean, and I didn't know Richie. Although Richie Dorman lives pretty close to me back home, sort of half an hour drive away. But I didn't know either of them at all, really. They were both really good guys in helping me settle in, though. It was. Off the field, it was a pretty easy transition. I really enjoyed my time. Obviously, there was frustrations on the field with injuries, us probably not fulfilling our potential.
Right.
But no, off the field, those guys really helped.
What made you choose BU, obviously, and what made the help to make that decision to come here?
I mean, I spoke to the coaches a lot, and I liked what they had to say about soccer. But obviously, it was a great academic opportunity as well to come over here and do a postgraduate degree, and it was all around a good fit for me, I thought.
Now you head into this weekend, taking on Rhode Island Friday night, and then after that, number 20 Harvard, who actually dipped in the most recent poll. They were at number 6 prior to that. Yeah. Just one loss that weekend. It's amazing how much you can drop in a weekend. Obviously, it's hard to overlook a team like Rhode Island, especially the way you guys want to get a win. But how big would that win against Rhode Island be going into playing a ranked team like Harvard on that Sunday afternoon or Sunday night? Excuse me. Yeah,
we haven't even spoke about Harvard. Rhode Island is a huge game for us. It's like I said, we've lost a few on the bounce, and it's one of those turning points in the season. Whether you let it all go downhill and just feel sorry for yourselves, and you don't really ever pull your finger out, or you turn it around, you dig in against a team that we supposedly should beat, but it's never really that. It's never that straightforward. But it's a big moment in the season. Like you say, going into a big weekend against Harvard, we've got to concentrate on Rhode Island.
Important to get something positive after dropping 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I like the fact that you guys are putting emphasis. Sometimes I'm like, oh, it's just another game on our schedule. But, the way this season's gone, 3-3-1 right now, you're absolutely right. It could be a turning point. I like that you guys know that this could be a big moment in the season on which way
definitely.
It ends.
I think that's one of the positives of the season being pretty short and games coming back to back, that at any moment you can have a turning point on the season. It's everything in such a short period of time is about momentum, I think, and one win and everyone feels a little bit better about themselves. Suddenly things can change pretty rapidly.
See that Coach Ben's even complimenting the scheduling. That's terrific. You like seeing that. The players like the Friday, Sunday right now, just to have that one day off and then go at it again. So certainly a busy weekend for you guys this weekend, and best of luck to you, Ben, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much for your time.
That's Ben Havey,
Ben.
joining us
Good
here
luck.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
On BU All Access. It is a busy weekend for the Terriers. They end their 3-game homestand this weekend, taking on the University of Rhode Island. Friday night at 7 p.m. on Nickerson Field. And then Sunday, a Boston area brawl, as we'll call it. I just wanted the alliteration. But BU versus number 20 Harvard at 7 p.m.